Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the Super Not Funny Show Reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today, we're going to be reviewing the 6th episode of Debris, entitled Supernova. And that's coming to you from NBC and streaming on Peacock and on Hulu. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. Debris, episode 6, entitled Supernova. And as usual, no idea why it's called Supernova. There seems to be a trend with this show. There's almost zero reason for the title to correspond to what the hell happens in the whole episode. But that notwithstanding, we're following on some threads, but also tracking down a new piece of debris. Yeah, they've really settled into the problem of the week. There's apparently, the premise of the show. There's so many pieces of debris, so obviously there's going to be all sorts of crap going on around the world, and every bit of it does something different. For this episode, what do we find? A piece of debris that apparently destroys life, or maybe turns people old really fast or something like that. We're not really sure at the start of the episode, but as we proceed, we see that there's a couple of people who obviously have a piece of debris and it's doing some weird, funky stuff on them, killing people, and they're apparently targeting old people, like not just 60, 70, but like 80, 90-year-olds, for whatever reason. And Finola and Brian have to run off, track them down with their science team, and figure out where they're striking next, who they're going to go after next. It's all to be honest, a very straightforward little plot as far as the setup is concerned. There's a piece of debris, it's doing something, somebody's doing with it, probably intentionally. Let's find them. And we have all little scientific doodads, and that's one thing actually they get right in this one. There's a minimum of sci-fi bullshit in this, and I've criticized this show in the past about the sci-fi BS not being very well explained. In this episode, they didn't have to talk a whole lot about numbers and give you phrases and explain anything. All that mattered is, hey, this piece of debris seems to reverse aging or something like that. Reverse aging, and but if it's too far away from somebody, if somebody gets too far away from it, they die. They call it a boomerang effect. Okay, pretty straightforward, easy to premise. I didn't need any doctors to spout any mumbo jumbo, and that's why this works so well. You find out, of course, later on. This is the A plot, by the way. The A plot is these two people are doing this. Why are they doing this? Why are they targeting old people? And as it proceeds, they slowly unravel and slowly unfold what the central mystery is, which is, hey, it's a fountain of youth device, and surprise, an old man discovered it and goes and revives his wife, who has dementia in an assisted living home, and they decide they have to take this out on the road and cure more people. But of course they discover they can't get too far away from it or they die. And so as Finola and Brian team up to figure this out and try to track down the people, basically the story is somewhat tragic. The fact that they were married 50 years and she has dementia, she doesn't remember him. Now he gets her back, and every time he does this to somebody else, if they get too far, they die. It's a conundrum. Well, how do we have this second chance at life without also hurting more people? Because these guys ultimately, they're normal people and they have good intentions, but they're using a piece of debris, so not so good. And Finola and Brian have to sort of, track them down and convince them and everything. And that particular storyline, it ends in a way that's predictable but very satisfying. Two people that get a second chance and realize that they don't want to hurt other people, and that the best thing isn't for him to watch her languish and disappear before his eyes, but for them to die together. And I have to say, just all around satisfying. even though, again, I said it's not exactly hard to tell where this is going. These weren't master planners, criminals, or whatever. They're just people that ran into some luck that wasn't so great at the end. And they are able to, chart their own course towards the end of their lives, like, other people would like to as well. I thought it was very beautiful, very nice. And also that one of the people they helped, even though he's young, he gets a new zest for life. Again, great stuff. Really, really like that angle. The human element, that was all good. This is the sort of writing I want to see on this show. Finola and Brian really aren't there to impart into their moralisms or whatever. They're just there to do the job. But in doing the job, the people they're going after sort of reveal something important that they themselves need to, take in themselves. Really good. At the same time, there is the B plot. The B plot is the counterintelligence back and forth between Orbital or CIA, the Orbital, and MI6. Who's playing who? Who can we trust? And finally, up to this point, I didn't know why, but I just didn't like Finola and Brian a huge amount. And I think I understand now why I didn't like them as much. Finola, because she's sort of a dupe or whatever in this. She doesn't know what the hell's going on, and she finally gets to know what's going on. Because Brian, the reason why I didn't seem to like him so much is because he was duplicitous. He had this partner. He said she can trust him, but he's also doing the work of his boss, Maddox. Sort of he knows about her dad being alive and everything and Maddox wants him to get some intel from her and help him break into her email and all this other stuff. He's got this desire for this information, and meanwhile Finola's boss is trying to set up a little bit of a trap or something for Maddox, and these two are kind of caught in the middle, being intelligence agents. And finally they lay their cards on the table. Brian first, he volunteers it. He steps up. He steps up and he decides to be a good person and a good friend, and to ask her to trust him in his turn. And they do. And this is what I've been missing. Scully and Mulder don't work if they don't trust each other. If they think each other is suspect. The fact that they now have laid their cards on the table and decided we can't trust our bosses, something else is up, we have to come together and kind of suss it out. I like that. That's what I want to see. This episode, the whole bit with Maddox and he's trying to get a piece of debris and he gets it and all this other stuff. I liked all of that. There's obviously it's a thread that we're going to continue to follow. I just love that all this is out in the open, and now I can really like their dynamic. And I think it works because even though I didn't like the previous episode, the tension between them really helped to bring home the fact that now they are on the same page. So loved it. Loved this episode. This episode was awesome. It just really redeemed. Last week I had a sour taste in my mouth. This week I'm just all smiles because I loved it. And I want more of this. Debris, keep doing this. You did so well. You got 2 more weeks. The countdown starts again. You got 2 more episodes. Please make another episode like this. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, that's my review of Debris episode 6, entitled Supernova. So, what do you guys think about this episode? What do you think about my review? Why don't you get down to the comments and let me know what you think. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we can chop it up about Debris. Hopefully they're turning the corner and really engaging all of us. And of course, are you subscribed? If you're not, what are you doing with your life? Get down there, hit that subscribe button, join the Super Not Funny Show family. And of course, you can hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when we drop new content, and we're doing that every week. New reviews and new reactions and anything else that floats our pop culture boat. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me for this review. Please come back next time for the next episode of Debris. And again, hoping it's going to be really good. In the meantime, I have been Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.